If you have an interest in horses and love learning more about horses, the horse industry, teaching, or even managing your own horse business, then you're in the right place. We would love you to join us on our mission, which is to improve the lives of horses around the world through the education of riders, handlers, and trainers. So get comfortable, listen in, and enjoy.
If you'd like to acquire more customers and generate more sales with less effort, then talk to Sophie Barrington at Archer Creative. She's the first and only full-service equine marketing agency in the Southern Hemisphere, serving Australian and international equine brands. Go to horsechats.com, search for Sophie, search for Barrington, or search for Archer Creative, and her contact details will be at the bottom of the page. Today, I'm delighted to get back Aaron Scobie. Aaron's going to talk to us today about 10 tips for training cow horses, and no one better qualified, of course, than Aaron to talk about it. You know, if you haven't already heard about Aaron, listen to Aaron, go to episode 418 and, you'll find out 3 times Youth World Cup competitor, and you'll just go right through his story and just go, yeah, I've got to listen to this guy. Very simple in his process, not complicated, just gets to the point. He likes to take the time to establish the fundamentals to set up for a long and sustainable career. Now, I'll welcome you again, Aaron. How are you?
Thanks, Glenys. Good, thank you.
Good.
And yourself?
Yeah. Now, Aaron, we're talking about tips on training cow horses. You've got go, stop, turn. Can't get more complicated than that. Aaron, anything else that you'd like to say about that? That to me is just, wow, no nonsense stuff. Just do it. Yeah.
Yep. So that really, forms the basis of the program. In that if your horse goes with a cow, stops with a cow, turns with a cow, they're a cow horse. There's not much more that you need to do. There's some polish and that sort of things that we do, but really they need to be doing those 3 things before you can start thinking about doing anything else. Reading the cow, and they're starting to initiate that go, stop, turn. And if you focus on those 3 things, you're going to end up with a pretty nice horse.
Okay, good. Now, simplicity, again, broke is broke.
Yep. So I suppose to add a little context around that one, for me, when we talk about a broke horse, it's one that is pretty well along the training path. We've got really good control of all the parts of the horse's body, so his head, through his cage and his hips. And what that means in the context of training cattle is that any time you pick up on that horse to correct him or to help him, he stays connected to the cow. If you don't have him broke, if you don't have him go distance out of him, whenever you pick up on him, lift the head up or, brace on you with the body a little bit and their mind comes straight off that cow and start thinking about what you're doing, or you can't actually get their body in the position it needs to be, so it becomes a bit of a fire. We want them really broke, but we don't want to be helping them, or telling them what to do all the time.
Okay. So, Aaron, something you just said about staying connected to the cow. This is really about letting the horses think.
Absolutely. So, what we want as an end result is a horse that's thinking and is helping us, watching that cow, reading that cow and helping us work it. And the big part of the training process for that is to make sure that we're letting them think, we're giving them the opportunity to initiate that go, stop, turn that we talked about earlier. And then, that they're broke enough that when we do help them, we don't take the mind off the cow. We, about that, kind of connect everything up to that cow. There's pretty easy to train one to be mechanical, where they just do what you tell them to. But, when you get in those tricky spots, you really want that horse thinking, that's what letting them think, allows happen.
Yep. All right. Now, in the same simplistic turn, and I like it. I haven't been to one of your clinics, but I can just imagine that people that do go to your clinics would be saying, yep, he says that. Yep. Stop means stop. Sometimes a horse does something and I'll say to the rider, stop, and they don't. They only slow down and sort of turn around and keep going. But you're talking here, stop means stop. And something absolutely non-negotiable, stop. Tell us a little bit more about this stop means stop and why it's non-negotiable.
Yeah, sure. So definitely, from, I suppose, my background is the Training Cowhorse sort of event, so we get going pretty quick going down the fence a lot of times, and, you're pretty close to the cow, and there's lots of opportunity for things to go wrong. It's good. There's certainly the opportunity there, and it's kind of the same in the camp drafting. Cutting is a little bit different because you're further away from the cow. You're not running up next to it so much. But the idea is any time that my horse or we're getting in a bit of a bad situation where back that cow and there's potential for it to flip underneath the horse, and then you'll take a bit of a tumble or something like that. But I really want to know that I'll pick my hands up, that horse comes back and stops. So I'll spend a lot of time driving to the hip of that cow, and then stopping or just guiding that horse off and going loping circles or doing something else. And especially if I ever feel like that horse is rushing to that cow, or trying to take over a little bit. Those are all those opportunities I'm going to use to stop and make sure they're listening back.
Okay. And you've talked before about the horse needing to think, but if we talk about the cow as the cue, tell us a little bit about training cow horses and why the cow is the cue.
Yep. So, in general terms of training, we talk about sort of internal, with the internal being what we as a rider do, ask the horse to do. The external is everything else. So an example of that is if there's a tarp or something flapping over in the corner, that's external stimulus, and typically we don't want the horse to pay any attention to it. When you're working cattle, is you've got external stimulus, which is the cow, but you do want that horse thinking about it, reading it, understanding what that cow's going to do, so it sort of helps you. And that's where, again, I have broke. So it can help them keep that connection to the cow, but we don't want to be telling what to do all the time. So we want to let the cow get a turn, and then they sort of pull that horse through the turn, so that horse is the chance to read the cow as early as possible. A lot of times when it's horses that kind of cow anyway, so they get out there and cow stops, they kind of try and stop and do something, cow turns, and they kind of think, correct frame or as efficiently as we want to down the track, they and do something, and that's what you want to really reinforce, and then just take that into the sort of frame you want. But I think that pretty well covers it. I mean, it's letting that horse start, letting that cow start things, and then letting the horse follow them through.
Yep. So, Aaron, this reading cattle, we talk about people reading horses. Tell us a bit about how the horse needs to be able to read them, and how we can even recognise that the horse is starting to read the cattle.
Yeah. So that's, again, you'll feel it when you're riding one, is that cow moves and that horse goes to do something. A lot of times they don't know what they should be doing or where they should be going, but they feel like they should be doing so. That's the start of it. But the other side of that is we need to be able to read cattle really well as well. Especially from the training point of view, we kind of know what that cow's going to do, and we can help that horse as much as we can. And a lot of times the best way to do that is just go spend a lot of time around cattle. You'll find, time and time again, if there's guys, in events or any of that sort of stuff, if they might be really good horsemen, but if they can't read cattle, they're going to struggle. Whereas if you get someone that can read cattle and can kind of ride a horse, you're going to be in a pretty good spot.
Yep. So if we've got the person reading the cattle, the horse reading the cattle, that's a pretty good partnership then. Yep.
Yeah, hopefully they're both thinking the horse cow's doing the same thing.
Yeah. So what then should the person be doing? If the horse is reading the cattle and anticipating their movements, and what should the person be doing? How can they be helpful?
Yep. And that brings us obviously to the next one, but it's about staying horse's way. So quite often I see people working cattle is trying to, they'll see the cow move, trying to put themselves in position, how they're actually sitting on a horse, and so that's when they demean and always ride before that motion. So before the horse gets there, that person's there already. Sort of think of it like, they're at the front going to the front. What we really be doing is pushing that horse out in front of us, being behind the motion a little bit and letting that horse take us, where it needs to be.
Okay.
So you're more pushing rather than sort of out the front pulling with it. And it's just, staying out of their way. The same as when we're not working cattle, we just need to stay out of their way as much as we can. Let them find the right place. But the biggest thing with that is when we're working cattle, typically at some stage everything's going to get going a bit faster. We really need to make sure we stay slow with our hands and legs. Just because, the speed's gone faster doesn't mean we need to ride faster and harder.
Okay. So if we've got to remember what our job is, what can we say? What can go wrong there that we forget what our job is?
Yep.
And then how can we remember what our job is?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Again, something we see a lot of times is, working a single cow in an arena or you've got a bunch of cattle. So caught up in just holding that cow in the one spot or, holding it away from the other cows and kind of forget they're not going to add any benefit long term. I always say to them, if that cow gets big, it's probably not going to jump out of the arena, and if it does, we'll go and get it and we'll be fine. It's not sort of life where we have to hold that cow in that spot, especially in the early days with trying to build confidence with horses. So I always say, make sure your horse is correct. If you have to in the ground a little bit longer or let the cow get away and get your turn correct and then go catch it again, you're much better off than sort of on the ground and flying out of the turn. And, all you're doing is teaching your horse to throw its shoulders around it. It really could be. So, so again, it's all the way through the training process that we work cattle or not. Think of what that long-term job is. Just to get the gate open and closed and get out of there, or is it teach your horse to and close the gate properly and that stuff? So it's the same thing all the way through.
Okay. And then, Aaron, I know, we're training horses. It's got to be consistent. I suppose we've got a training regime, but what can you say? What tips can you give people about blocking your time so that we can prepare and work our horses? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So when we're talking about blocking our time, it's a little bit more specific to the Training Cowhorse event where we're training these horses to do the rein work. So they've got a reining pattern and they've got to work cattle down the fence and potentially out of the herd like a cutting horse does as well. So what we find, there is trying to work in blocks of 3 days. So it's 3 days working cattle, which allows you to, the first day, just kind of ease back into it.
Okay.
Introduce them to it. The second day, you can, get a bit of work done and then build on it the third day. And then we'll go and spend 3 days, doing the rein work, doing the dry work.
Okay.
And just, go through that cycle. They'll have, a day or two off. Then we'll go do 3 days of the cattle and 3 days of the rein work sort of stuff. And that allows consistency within the different events without having a big break, between them. You don't want to spend, a whole week working on rein work and then a whole week working on your cattle, working cattle, because there's too big a gap in between those, and you're going to spend most of that time going back to what what you did last.
Yes.
Whereas we use those little bit shorter blocks, you get a bit more time on everything, and then as they get further down the path, you will start to do both those events in the one day. So you'll work on your reining a little bit, then go and work for that as well.
Okay.
But early on, try and separate them a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting training, and I think we come in and it's people with your experience that can say to someone who's just coming in, this is the best way to block your time if you're training this way. Yeah. Yeah. Now, we're talking about, the long term and looking for the good. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, something that's pretty relevant. When we work cattle, especially when we go and work cattle for the first few times, is constantly looking for that horse to just make one move that I haven't asked it to.
Yep.
Said earlier, they'll sort of they'll know that they want to move and they're not really sure what to do if they've got any kind of anyway. So we want to make sure we give them that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I get really excited when one really kind of connect all the dots, and then that cow goes and kind of pulls that horse through there. And that's the good that we've got to look for. It's not getting out there and working cattle half of the times and thinking, well, my horse isn't running over there and stopping and running over there. I mean, it's finding those little bits, building that confidence. Especially like if that cow stops and your horse kind of tries to stop, then on the that's really cool. Encouragement that the horse you're sitting on's got the capability and all the bits there to actually go and be a cow horse.
Yep.
As opposed to one when that cow
yes.
the horse just bowls on past.
Yep.
And then that's all the little good points like that are all what build together and make a really nice horse.
Yeah, and I think that's true in any discipline too, Aaron. Obviously you've come through, you've given us all these tips, it's sort of been building on each other, but the whole looking for the good and rewarding the horse for those tiny little things, I think that's just a sign of a real good horseman, and I think if people do get the opportunity to, go to any of the clinics or catch up with you at any time, I think that would be particularly if you're interested in training cow horses, but even if not, and I really like the cross-discipline training. You're doing another sport within the equine world, but you have the chance to go to a clinic, or even if you just go and fence sit with Aaron, I think it's well worth your time and effort to get there. And if anyone wants to contact you, Aaron, or wants to talk to you about even organising a clinic, what's the best way to do that?
The easiest way is through Facebook.
Okay.
So we've got a Facebook page, which is Scobie Performance. So through that, or obviously you can give us a call.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty forward, and I think people are using. We put our clinics and lessons and stuff up there. So
yeah. And I've got to talk to you about your sponsors. I mean, those details will be on Horse Chats as well. So it'll be horsechats.com/Aaron Scobie 2, or else just go to horsechats.com, search for Aaron or search for Scobie. But your sponsors, and I think it's really important that we thank our sponsors. We've got to make sure that sponsors, it's not just a one-way deal where sponsors are paying us. You've got some sponsors. Can you talk to us a little bit about them and what they do? Because it's not just about contacting you about a clinic. If you're happy to support these people, they're sponsoring you, but you obviously believe in their products. Tell us a little bit about them too, so our listeners, if they're interested, they can contact those people as well.
Yep. Yeah, so first one, Diamond Country, so it's a clothing store based up in Queensland, but they have a pretty big office. We kind of ended up sort of with them, they carry the brands we use anyway. So, the opportunity was small. It came up. That was, pretty easy decision for us to make. It was kind of like, well, we use all this. We've used these cinch shirts and crook wheel stuff and all that sort of thing. Just for our own use. And so, to support a business like that, it's a local business, they're a country business, and they're really trying to make a difference for people out in the country. As far as having some of those really good brands and a bunch of really nice people as well. So it works out pretty good. But
okay. All right. Well, thanks, Aaron. Thanks for chatting to us today. And, as I said, if you'd like to contact Aaron or even contact any of their sponsors, those details will be on horsechats.com/Aaron Scobie. Thanks for chatting to us today, Aaron. We look forward to some more tips coming up from you, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon.
Cool. Glenys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Remember that our comments and instructions are general in nature and do not take into consideration your individual horses or your individual ability and circumstances. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please leave your comment below.